Hello everybody, welcome to our last mindset video for May. I cannot believe how quickly this year has gone, and I think most of you who have been trading throughout this year probably will feel the same, because I think when you're on the go with something new and learning constantly and got that drive, time just flies. So yeah, I was about to say welcome to the first mindset call of the month, and then I was like, oh my god, it's actually end of May. It's so crazy. Anyway, due to it being the last week of May and coming into a new month soon, what I would really like to discuss for this call is our routine and our morning routine especially. So you guys have probably seen that in the members chat and the beginners chat, I post in the mornings for most of the mornings of the week a self check-in list. And the reason why I've done this is because for most of my life, I like to make sure I have things in order, not necessarily control them, but have things in order that I know will improve me over time. And one of those things that I've tried to really work on is my morning routines. Before I had dogs, I used to wake up at any given time because my work allowed me to. I'm very flexible with my hours, which meant that some days I'd wake up at 10, some days I'd wake up at 7. I really didn't have any routine. And at the time, I thought this worked for me really well. Now, when I had dogs, obviously that all went out the window because the dogs need to be walked in the morning. They need their food at a certain time in the morning and so forth. And that was very, very difficult. Although what it did give me is an improvement on my own self-development and how I felt as the day went on. So the more routine that I had, the healthier I became. And obviously because the boys had their time to go out in the mornings, I was able to catch that glimpse of sun first thing in the morning. Taking my bottle of water earlier on in the morning as well, which is something that I didn't do. I never really drank water in the morning. And going out with the boys, because we're walking quite a bit, I carried water, which meant I was drinking water. And honestly, just these little changes have made a huge improvement. It was almost like investing in myself, not realizing that I was doing that because I was putting the boys first, the dogs. So anyway, going on to the main point here is that our morning routine dictates how our day is going to run. Now, a lot of you may say, oh, but I have, a really busy morning. I've got kids, I've got responsibilities in the mornings that just doesn't allow me to do certain things for myself. Totally understandable. With whatever I'm going to say, it's going to be very generic, but what I'd like you to do is pull and extract as much information as you can that can help you in your own unique routine, in your own unique story. Okay, all of us have different responsibilities and people that wait for our time as well. So it can be extremely difficult, but what I am suggesting is that you are also part of those responsibilities and priorities. And without you, the world doesn't function. So it's really important that you invest in that time, in that space, in that quality for yourself, so then everything else can run smoothly. The other thing that I wanted to mention before I go on ahead is that if I said to somebody, let's say a client, and I said, hey, how about we start waking up at 6 o'clock in the morning instead of 7, and you've got an hour there to do whatever that you wanted to do that you don't have time to do before work, if you're waking up at 7. And they say, oh, but I'm really groggy in the morning. I can't really concentrate. Oh, I'm going to be a lot more tired. Now, change is uncomfortable, okay? To make any sort of changes in our life, it's going to feel uncomfortable because it's foreign to us. It's not something that we're used to doing that particular habit. So what that means is when you make a change, you have to keep practicing on that change until it becomes automatic, until it becomes normal, part of your lifestyle and something that you don't really need to think about, that it just happens, okay? So for example, now I don't think about drinking water. My body tells me it needs the water at that time in the morning because I'm so used to drinking water so early on that if I don't, my body tells me. I start feeling a bit strange. Maybe I'm not feeling as clear as I want to be in the morning. And yeah, that's where we want to get to, okay? Change is uncomfortable. We need to get used to that. With everything we do, change is going to be feeling strange, feeling foreign, and you have to persevere through that, yeah? So the other thing is, when you are making a change, for those first few days, if you feel uncomfortable, you have to bear in mind that over a period of time, you have been functioning in a way that suits you for that time. Now, it doesn't mean it's right for you. It just means that that's what you're used to. So if you're used to waking up really tired, if you're used to not eating in the mornings, it's something that your body is used to, okay? And you're naturally going to feel like, oh, I don't need to make that change. But what if I tell you now that those couple of changes, even just one change every morning, is going to improve you and your trading? You know, if you want to be a funded trader, if you want to make trading a full-time job, what if I said to you waking up at 5:30 in the morning instead of 6:30 in the morning is going to make you a better trader? And if you have proof of that, you would do it, right? But because there's this steps of change that makes us feel a certain way, oh, I can't do that, or maybe we tried it and it didn't work for the first few days, you know, that is you setting a limitation and a boundary for not being able to improve. So it's very important that when you're making change, that you allow yourself time and space to get used to what you're changing, okay? So there's 4 things that I just want to run over that is important when you're thinking about a new type of morning routine, whether it's a new one, brand new one, or whether you're just going to take some stuff out and replace them with new habits. So number 1 is knowing your interests, knowing what you love, knowing what makes you feel good, okay? So I know that water makes me have more clarity in the mornings for my day job. I know that it's going to make me feel more fueled. So I am going to invest in making sure that I drink a certain amount of water every single morning. So now by the morning until around 12 p.m., I make sure that I drink 1.5 liters a day. Until that 12 p.m. Daily. But it doesn't mean that I stick with it. It just means that is what I aim to do, okay? Because I'm not going to control it. I just know that that is part of the morning routine that I want and that I know is going to make me successful. What I love to do, think about what you love. I love to meditate. I love to not have my phone straight away first thing in the morning. So these are things that I'm going to think about implementing in my mornings. Am I going to meditate? Am I going to do a bit of yoga? Maybe some Tai Chi? I have the time to do that. So you have to think about things that you love, that you're interested in, and things that will improve you, okay, on a long-term basis. And short-term basis, yeah, because change happens quite a lot. So sometimes we might have a certain routine that can only last us a month. Sometimes it's a routine that lasts us only 2 weeks because now our kids are back at school, or our kids are now on holiday, so we have to change the routine again. Or it's a routine that we can stick to for a whole year and longer. Okay, so it's always going to change. But thinking about what works for you now, what you love to do now, what interests you, and what's going to improve you at this given time are just things that you need to think about. Okay. Number 2 is being aware of what does not serve you, being aware of what just isn't working. Okay. So if you say to yourself, you know, I want to wake up at 6 o'clock and you're constantly waking up at 8 o'clock is not serving you, or maybe 6 o'clock isn't serving you. Maybe you need to find a means in between. Maybe it's 7. Okay. Maybe you are sleeping too late and that's why 6 o'clock in the morning isn't working for you. Maybe it's that you consume too much coffee before you go to sleep. So actually, when you wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning, it's making you frantic because you've actually had too much coffee before you've gone to sleep. So maybe it's the coffee that's not serving you. It's not actually the times you're waking up, but it's what you're doing before you go to bed. Yeah, so what you want to do is observe what you do before going to sleep, a couple of hours before you're going to sleep, and also how your mornings function, and just look and observe at what is just not working, what you want to take out, what you want to replace, what you feel like doesn't put you in the best mood. Sometimes it could even be waking up and the first thing you're doing is looking at social media. Maybe that's not serving you. So write a list of things that you currently do as part of your morning routine and your nighttime routine, and just start ticking off which things that, from now on, I'm no longer going to do this because I know this is affecting the way that I think, the way that I feel, the way that I action, how I decide, and how I trade. Yeah. Number 3 is what I've spoken about already, which is change. So it's building a relationship with change, being comfortable with being uncomfortable. When you're going to start making a change and doing a bit of meditation for 5 minutes every single morning instead of waking up and going on social media, that's quite a big jump from, waking up, laying down and just checking your phone to actually getting out of bed and being proactive, being physical. It's a big change. So take your time. Maybe it means that you might have to just look at social media for 1 minute instead of 5 minutes, and then going to meditate and using those extra 4 minutes on your meditation. All right. So you can calculate things as you go along. You don't need to make huge steps. Just take your time through each one. Okay. And be comfortable with being uncomfortable, because that is where you start making new habits, new changes, and you develop for your beautiful future. Okay, so number 4 is letting go of expectations, something I talk about all the time, constantly about letting go of expectations. You let go and you let it flow. Now, when it comes to this topic, what I mean by letting go of expectation is, let's say you have a lovely routine going on and you feel like it's working, you wake up at 9 a.m. because you've missed your alarm because you're so tired, and damn it, now it means I can't do my yoga. Now it means I can't make my smoothie in the morning or can't have my fruit first thing in the morning. That's fine. It's okay. Life is life. Life will come and go as it pleases. Some days will be better than others. Some days you can do 5 things. Other days you can only do 1. It's totally fine. Now, if you're trying to control the outcome, what's going to happen is you're going to feel disappointed in yourself that you weren't able to meet that criteria of that morning. And you're going to put self-doubt. You're going to make yourself feel worse, make yourself moody, and it will reflect in your day. All right. So just let go. It's fine. Especially if you've got family and kids, you never know what's going to happen with their routine. And so it's important that you give yourself that time, give yourself that space to allow for things to change and to be comfortable with that, as I previously said. So try not to worry about if, you've done beautiful 3 weeks ongoing consistently with your daily routine, your new routine, and then it falls for 2-3 days. It's fine. It doesn't mean it fell. It just means that at that time you needed more sleep, or at that time somebody needed your attention more, or you had new priorities of that morning. So it's fine. Okay. So those 4 things, please remember: number 1, finding out what you love to do, what interests you, and what is going to improve you, okay, in the mornings. Number 2, becoming aware of things that do not serve you for your morning routines, especially your night routines. Number 3, building a relationship with change, making sure that you understand that it's okay to be uncomfortable, that being uncomfortable is part of change, and vice versa. All right. And number 4, not holding so many expectations. Just let it go, let it flow, allow the outcome to come as it pleases. All right. So just to give you an idea, so like I said, before the dogs, I kind of had, an all over the place routine, and it worked for me. It absolutely did. But one thing I definitely started to look into, and a bit more when it comes to, the letters that we wrote at some point last year about future you. So we wrote a letter to our future selves, just kind of telling our future selves, what we want, what we desire, and looking really far into that future and having an idea of what we sound like, what we feel like, how we walk, how we talk, how we dress, what's our posture saying, how is our voice kind of expressing. And all those things make a really big part of our desires and what we want. It's what we want to achieve, right? And so I knew at some point that in order for me to get closer to that highest potential version of myself, that I had to make changes in the now. Okay, so that's what we talk about a lot, is making changes in the now for that future self, not waiting for that future self to come, but to make those actions now, to change yourself now. And one of those things was my morning routine. I knew that if I set myself time and space in the morning to breathe correctly, to consciously breathe well through meditation, tell myself some nice positive things, I knew that that was going to amplify my day. But unfortunately, due to my work, because I do work till quite late, sometimes I've got clients till 9 p.m, which means I get home around 10 or after 10, have to sort my dogs out. Before you know it, I'm on my phone, possibly drinking a coffee, and, can't get to sleep. Which is not true. I actually sleep very well, but let's just say I prioritize things before I go to sleep. And then it just rumbles into me going to bed around midnight. Next thing you know, I'm trying to wake up at 7. It doesn't work because I didn't get enough sleep. So this went on for some time, and what I actually recently did was change my working hours, and what I'm currently working on is changing my working hours again, because I noticed that majority of my successful trades happen between 6 o'clock and 9 a.m. Now, in order for me to start trading at 6, it means I need to be up way much earlier in order to do my meditation, to consciously breathe, to eat my fruit, to drink my water, go for a walk with the dogs. It means I need to be up much earlier. Okay, so I know in the next few months I need to change my working hours again. Yes, my work allows me to do this because I control my hours, but it's something that I have to work towards. And the reason why I'm thinking about it now is because I know my future self will be proud of me and will thank me for doing this, because in order for me to get those successful trades in the morning and not allow myself to trade over the day, which that's not what I want to do. I don't want to be on my phone all day, every day. And if I catch those wonderful trades in the morning, good high quality volume, then I don't have to trade throughout the day. But what I have done is executed the way that I go to sleep, making sure that I'm home earlier, that I'm sleeping earlier, that I change my night routine, and that it will reflect in my morning routine. All right. So your night routine reflects on the morning, and how that happens, how that occurs, then dictates how your whole day works. Now, if your day is full of fight or flight, survival mode, anxiety, stress, shouting, moody, sadness, it's going to affect your night routine. Your night routine is going to affect your dreams. Your dreams are going to affect the way you feel in the morning, and the way you feel in the morning will affect how your day will run. Get it? It's a whole cycle. It's a whole cycle to digest, understand, break down very slowly, write it down. Remember to extract the things that does not serve you anymore. They do not serve you anymore. And start implementing healthy, good quality habits that will give you the results that you're looking for, the results that you're trying to achieve. Okay, a lot of us are trying to achieve results really far ahead of us without making those tiny little steps. And so what I want you to do further on from this mindset video is just sit down, just write down your current morning routine, what that consists of, how long do those things take, and start thinking about what you would like to have in your morning routine. Yeah, I've written down in one of my content posts a couple of days ago of ideas of morning routine. So if you feel like you need some more ideas, please let me know, because I can help you with this, especially if you have family or a job that starts really early. If you need some guidance into understanding what you can do around that, let me know. I'll be more than happy to help you individually. And so after you doing your observation of what you're currently doing and what you'd like to do, then you can start changing things bit by bit, very slowly. Do not go full raging in, okay? You need to do things slowly, because you need to allow your body, your mind, how you feel and how you think to adjust to the new routine, the new changes. Remember, it's uncomfortable. So take your time, process it, and I promise you, how it will change your trading and how you think about it, your clarity, your fuel, your energy, it will massively impact you in a positive way, and you'll be thanking me for sending you this video. All right. It's very, very important that you take control, take accountability for your actions and what you choose to do and what you choose not to do. Okay, you are always in control of that. And so why not replace everything that isn't serving you with things that are going to improve you in a long term. Okay. Anyway, have a nice evening, and thank you for listening. We will do another video next week. All right. Take care, guys. Thank you.